welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 103, I think. My name's Mike Williams. Yeah. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey. What's going on?
Hi.
What's going on? What's going on, gamers? I'm not used to that. You saying what's going on, because I don't know if you're using it as an informal greeting or you're using it as a very, literal question. Yeah. Because the answer is really not that much right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
There is a lot of stuff happening. This is the last week of silence before, you know. I think.
Well, I just chucked it out there because I'm a disruptor, and I just thought, let's see what happens.
CEO mindset. I've always said that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of busy in terms of the games. There's a lot of games coming out this week. A couple of big ones.
Yeah.
We've been playing some games, but there isn't. There's not like a. I feel like the console thing is like just a bubbling, continuing, ramp up towards launch. So there's just a constant stream of stuff. Like, I mean, I think it was press in the West. They're getting PlayStation 5s.
Yeah,
some photos. And stuff.
Even some really big content creators, influencers.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rad Brad got one.
Travis Scott got one.
Yeah, the guy who does walkthroughs, literally all he does is play a game. He's for, I'll record this and put it on YouTube. Free PlayStation 5, sick.
Yeah.
Travis Scott for his contributions to video gamers recently with his giant Fortnite live extravaganza has been given the Sony knighthood. Yeah.
I can't wait till we get ours. It's all,
Yeah, absolutely. If you're listening, Sony, sort it out, mate. If you fucking
we'll have 3, please.
Yeah. Make it snappy.
Yeah. So there's that. There's that kind of thing going on. But I mean, we've been turning to old games, really, haven't we? For a while. For a while. I mean, I've been hammering Total War. I have never played as much Total War in my life as I am at the moment. And when I'm not playing it, I'm just watching people playing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I'm just fucking. That's all I want to think about. I go to bed and I'm thinking about
strategies,
rifles going off, rats dying. It's just my life at the moment. But you both have been playing a bit of Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Good deal. But yeah, Jake, in a new and exciting sense.
Yeah.
Because EA Play is coming to everyone on Xbox Game Pass soon. When is it? This week?
I think it's the 10th of November, which coincides with
2 weeks.
Like literally the 10th of November, which I think is when Xbox comes out. Tons of shit's happening. Pretty much no matter where you are on a gaming spectrum, everything's getting updates. Like Destiny 2, that big update is happening then, and Halo and whatever. But also EA Play is coming to Game Pass. And EA Play, if you don't know, is already in a sense a little bit like Game Pass, but just with EA games. There's tiered system. I think you can get the premium one, and then you get access to all of the EA games that coming out a week early for 10 hours. So, some games like this new Star Wars one, whatever it's called, Squadrons, that is like basically if you play that for 10 hours, you don't need to play it again, to be completely honest with you. So it's good for stuff like that. And that is, I guess, why, in a sense, EA are making all their games massive. But I just spent 9 hours playing an old EA game. So if you guys have got Game Pass, then when you get it, maybe you can take this as a recommendation. It's this crazy little game called Dead Space, yeah? I don't know if you've ever heard.
What?
Dead Space. It's like a spacey... Okay. So this is going to sound very funny to people who've already played it, but me and sci-fi have got a weird relationship. Me and horror have got a great relationship. But with sci-fi, it does sometimes put me off, right? And I played Doom 3 when it came out, I think on the original Xbox.
Where is this going?
And it was a lot. No, it's really going somewhere. So I played Doom 3, and it was the reinvention of Doom, and it was in this, big ship, and it was just full of like lights flashing in dark corridors with industrial clanks and body horror looking enemies, and there's like 3, 4, maybe 5 varieties of enemy all the way through the game. And I really didn't like Doom 3. By the end of it, I was sick of it. So I started Dead Space, and it was exactly the same thing. Like small, annoying corridors, everywhere looked the same. I had to go to A, then go back to B, but then I had to go to C. And it has this like Metroidvania feel. So I was like not really into it. Same 2 types of enemies constantly. And I was like, all right. That's when I first played Dead Space. That's what I remember. So, but I don't know what it was. I just thought, this is a really well-reviewed series. I know that the guys like it. I'll try it again. And I think after giving me and Doom 3 some space, I could let this into my heart the way it should have been. And I quickly realized it wasn't at all what I thought it was from the first hour, because it's not like that. It's not a Metroidvania, first of all. You don't have to... It's not like the thing about Resident Evil and Silent Hill. They all have that kind of one map all the way through, but for some random unknown reason, don't ask too many questions, this area is locked off until like later on for no reason. And you know, that normally has got some quite cool explanation, like there's a giant rift in the floor, or you need a key with a bird on it. But in Dead Space, it was just like terminal lockdown. The amount of times I've heard lockdown this week, fucking hell. So I started playing it, and I got this plasma cutter. I got another weapon. I realized, oh my God, there's multiple weapons. And then, like, as the game goes on and on and on and on, it's not very long, by the way. It took me about 9 hours, 15 minutes or something.
Sounds about right.
I completed it literally 40 minutes ago, and we've been talking for like 50 minutes, so I'm really fresh off it. But it just continues and continues. Like, forget the story, which, by the way, is dead simple. It's something like you are some rescue squad that rocks up on this abandoned mining ship, because this is in the future, and then there's these giant ships that mine planets, and this one's been abandoned. So you arrive with a squad, of course, and everything goes wrong.
Well, you're saying squad, but you're not a soldier, are you? You're an engineer.
You're an engineer,
That's why the guns are cutters and blades and.
Well, I meant squad in the TikTok sense, you know, just the whole squad.
Oh, okay.
You know, like an emoji. But yeah, you're part of this, this like team to see what's going on. But it ends up being, you know, horrific. So that's the setup and whatever. But the story, like, what I like about it is that the game just continues to change constantly all the way through. It could have easily been the same 5 corridors and keep going back to this main hub, but something's different. But no, like, you are getting a change of scenery, like, really, like, every 40 minutes something's changing up. And, like, the game does have, like, levels, I think, really, because basically the first chapter, you have to get this tram online, and then you use the tram to go to these different areas, and like that acts as like your level. It's all contained in each chapter, is self-contained, really. I don't think, maybe at one point you go back to a previous bit, but other than that, you go into different parts of the ship, and like there's like you see the blueprint of the ship, and you can see the areas you've been to and stuff. So you pretty much go to a different area in every level, which I like. I like that it's not this big scope, giant ship, constantly going back and forth. That's the worst thing about horror games, I think, like survival games, when I get lost and I'm like, going around the sewers in Resident Evil 2 when I just didn't know which way I've gone. Or if you leave it for a day and you come back in and you have to spend the first 15 minutes acclimatizing to the dank sewers to remember where you are. So it manages to be pretty lean because it cuts all that out. It's like less than 10 hours long. The story is really simple, and it's told through these like holograms and then the occasional audio log. But we're not on about Horizon Zero Dawn here. We're on about there's maybe 15 of them in the whole game. So I guess I'm saying all this to somebody who's never maybe played it, because everybody who's played it is like, yeah, Jake, you're just describing the game, but I didn't give it much of a chance because I don't like these industrial themed sci-fi things, and I don't like that claustrophobia is so easily used in horror stuff these days. So I figured that the game would be like that, and I just made a big mistake because it's really good. And
it's because it's purposeful, isn't it? And it's really claustrophobic, and it's really industrial, and it's industrial because that's the setting. It's a mining complex. Yeah. You're an engineer. It's a disaster. It's not, you're supposed to be like a man out of his depth. And also the claustrophobia is a claustrophobic environment. The camera's really tight on you. everything's slow. Feels like you're wading through the level, like when you're walking, and even when you're running, it doesn't feel you don't feel very agile, do you? Aiming is slow. You've got to be precise and cut things off when they're like flailing at you a million miles an hour. So it's all that is when it's focused, it's really good. It's not just going, well, let's just make it claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be scary.
And it doesn't maintain this all the way through the game either. Like in nice subtle ways, you realize that the game gives you more and more toys to play with. I didn't even unlock, I don't think I unlocked half the weapons because you can only have 4 weapons equipped.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get another weapon, you have to sell your weapon or whatever, or you can store it. Sorry, you can store it.
Yeah, you swap them up.
I didn't do that though. I just kept my 4. I had the regular plasma cutter, the flamethrower, the fucking
the line gun,
buzzsaw thing. No, not line gun. The buzzsaw, the Ripper, which the game kept force feeding me those bloody Ripper blades. Like I must have had about 150 Ripper blades at any given moment. It kept giving me them, and then, so by the end of the game, I was just using that. And I also had the regular assault rifle kind of thing. So I did my plasma cutter up straight away. I used all my power nodes upgrading it because you can upgrade weapons or upgrade your suit and whatever. But as you're getting more powerful, the game's giving you more challenges. But the game isn't giving you more challenges by keeping you boxed in. You get into some quite open spaces. There's some really cool bits. There's some good set pieces, which for a game about being in space, normally it's don't worry about space, just focus on the ship. The whole point about being in space is you're surrounded by the abyss, and a lot of the time it's like being a game set in the sea. You don't actually spend much time in the sea. You're always on a boat, and so the fact that you do end up a bit in space was cool, and I didn't expect it. I remember seeing a trailer for Dead Space 3.
I know what you mean.
It was a co-op trailer, and it was way different than Dead Space 1 from what I played. So I was and I know that some fans were unhappy with how the series was going. So I thought, is this one going to be really boring, encouraged? But no, I got to say, my initial impression is it's one of the best games I've ever played. It's so good. It's not even good. It's really fucking good. And you know what? Yeah, I actually would, if I didn't have the second one or the third one immediately at my disposal to download and play, which I haven't even ever seen Dead Space 2. I've seen 3 from trailers and think it pretty good game, and we edited some footage of it. We were talking about it once, so I was editing it, so I saw loads of footage. I haven't even seen the second one. But if I didn't have them at my disposal, I really reckon I would just jump straight back into it and start it again on New Game Plus, which I very rarely do. So if you've got Game Pass and you're getting EA Play and you haven't played Dead Space, it's well worth a fucking look. EA were really fucking good once. I've just before this, I just wanted to get a quick list. Yeah.
Well, now, did you see the Chris Pratt did a great video on the economics of it? Ages ago. What's his channel called?
People Make Games.
Chris Pratt. What? Sorry.
Was it People Make Games or something like that?
People Make Games, and he did look at all the creatively successful things that Dead Space did, and how it's such a kind of darling, and then why the series kind of transformed over the next 2 games, and that it turns and just being a full-on horror game, even when it's really well done and there's really little to criticize about it, it's still quite niche. But when you can dial it up and advertise it as more of a blockbuster, and there's more explosions in the trailer and stuff like that it just kind of sells more. But the whole series ended up being a weird, diluted thing of horror and a blockbuster.
It's a bit. It reminds me I can see it going a bit Gears of War, where it's do you know what I mean? Gears is pretty much the closest I can think about it, but or Resident Evil 5 to Resident Evil 4, because so this is you can tell it's obviously taken a lot from Resident Evil 4 in the the mechanic and whatever, but it does do loads of stuff that's really really slick and nice, and the gun is the plasma cut gun is so
superb. Yeah, it gives it its own identity, that doesn't it? And it's not just about shooting zombies in the head. It's just the actual. It's so easy to forget that the game, what you're actually doing for the whole 9 hours, is really important. It's one thing moving the set in and having a decent, nice lean story and good presentation, and being scary, but then what are you going to be doing for the, you know? So the simple fact that they've really thought about the you know, the mechanics of the gameplay of the shooting and how you separate it from Resident Evil 4 that's what really makes it a classic and gives it its identity, I think.
Well, I like that there's like you still feel like you've got loads of choice when you're fighting. So I've got these different weapons, but I can also use this stasis thing, which is like literally slow-mos anybody. I use that pretty sparingly, but you've also got telekinesis. It's like, you know, people don't even really talk about that when talking about Dead Space because everyone talks about the plasma cutter, but to the point where I didn't even know there was other weapons. This is what I'm saying. I did not even know there was other weapons. And like I always feel like I had something up my sleeve. And then there was a couple of parts, maybe the last third of the game, especially the top end of that I ran out of ammo for pretty much everything apart from maybe the flamethrower or
the cutter, mate.
The Ripper. So I upgraded the Ripper twice. I had to spend like 6 nodes to get it to upgrade its damage twice. But when I did, it was way good. And there's like, I like that there's different bad guys because I thought that you just have like three varieties. But from what I can count, there's like 12 or 13 different varieties of enemies.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's good design, and they give you different problems as well. And when they arrive together as well, and that's cool. You've got to do one thing to take care of one type, and then a totally different thing to take care of another type.
Because you know when you got the Ripper blade, you can just aim quite low, and then it literally. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm on about, it's like so the game's got guns, but it's like a chainsaw on a stick. It's
like I can imagine an advert for that, and like you know them like shite American kind of lawyer adverts that are on chainsaw on a stick.
Chainsaw. So it's like this arm's length chainsaw thing. It's like you're mowing the grass. So you just aim down and you can just walk into them. You don't have to like tap the triggers. You just walk into them, wade through them, and their legs get cut off. But then you've got these big fat guys and their bellies overhanging. So like you can't have the same angle for them. And if you hit their belly, then they explode and loads of like these like little alien facehugger things come out. So you've got to like clip their wings and then shoot their head off. So you got to go up high. Then you can get the lawnmower out and then. So I just
space groundskeeper.
That's the space channel. So I was in awe of Dead Space for a lot of the time I was playing it, and it's great because it's very Moorish because it's like next chapter. What am I going to do this time? What are they going to get me doing this time? And that's what's a good feeling. Like, what am I going to be doing in this chapter? There's like bits where you're in these big open vista outside bits. There's like bits where you're in these huge arenas almost like. You've got zero gravity bits, didn't even know that.
Yep.
But can I just read out a couple of games that EA made in those 365 days surrounding Dead Space? Because EA now, when you think of EA, you're not thinking of like great games really anymore. But listen to this, in the same like 365 days from Dead Space, there was Rock Band, new IP, Skate, new IP, Army of Two, new IP, Spore, Mirror's Edge, Mass Effect and Dead Space in 1 year.
Yeah,
that was a good year, man.
All new IP, and it's like, and I mean, like Skate, Mass Effect, and Dead Space all became.
That was 2008, yeah.
Well, 2000. I went from late 2007 to late 2008, and Dead Space I think came out around September 2008. But I was thinking that 1 year window that's included in is crazy, and then ending with November. When Mass Effect came out. But all of those, and like I say, Skate and Mass Effect and Dead Space were trilogies in the end. Army of Two, I think, actually had like a sequel.
Yeah, that was a trilogy.
And now what has EA done this year? Like Star Wars,
sports
FIFA,
games.
Worst FIFA ever, apparently.
Yeah.
Car game? Car game?
Imagine there was a game. Car.
Car.
There was Need for Speed Heat, but I can't remember if that came out this year or last year.
I think there's been like a big update for it, so I can't remember either. But so basically what EA has done is nothing really. There's been one new IP, and it was like part of their indie division, and it was that like I don't know, was it Sea of Solitude or was that last year? Right. So it's just weird. It's just weird to see So just like I know everyone has to moan about EA because they are shitheads, but look at that year, a vintage year.
That's I guess what people were talking about when they were saying, where are all the Star Wars games? How have you only made that Star Wars Battlefront remake, which is very limited in scope, and that's it. That's all you fucking done, and for it to be such a big contract and off the back of like Mass Effect and Dead Space and all that, and loads of great racing games and whatever, your mind races at the possibilities, and I can see why it would be attractive to a fucking corporate executive to go, oh yeah, let's sign the Star Wars rights over to this company. They've made loads of big successful games, critical darlings that have sold well. Who else is going to do a better job? But then so that's kind of, I guess that's what they're thinking about. Is that era? That era was really good. I always associate, for some reason, Dead Space with BioShock in my head, and I think it's just kind of the similar.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what the right word is, but I guess scope, which I've already said a few seconds ago. But
no, you're right.
Yeah,
it's not. They're not like I think because we're on such a heavy diet of open world games at the moment that feels like an era when games just weren't open world games. They were just great, RPG mechanics were there, but they were a lot more limited. Like you had a really limited inventory system in space, in Dead Space, and progression system. But that's all it needed to be. Like it didn't need to be anything more than it is. And it's good and enjoyable in Dead Space. And the same goes for BioShock.
It feels super purposeful though. It could be a game that came out this year. And people would say it was brave for doing that now.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's it really is quite something. I just looked at BioShock came out the same year, so it looks like and I guess Isaac and a Big Daddy, they don't look too dissimilar. I'm not a huge fan of BioShock, right? But Dead Space is absolute it was fucking great. Like I'm looking for, in the nicest way possible, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to start installing Dead Space 2. Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't be happier, mate. I couldn't be happier. I genuinely I would put that as one of my favorite games ever. And I'm not like, when I think about what genres do I like, I wouldn't put horror right at the top. Although I do like horror, but I wouldn't think if I'm a genre person, what do I love? And I'd say fantasy or sci-fi or whatever. But Dead Space and Bloodborne are in my top 5, if not top 3 ever, right?
Yeah.
And they're both heavily kind of horror games, so I think there's something to be said about it as a video game genre.
Survival horror is without a doubt probably, after JRPGs, my second favorite genre of all time in games. I'd live for survival horror games.
Yeah.
Did the survival horror mechanics kind of continue into the Dead Space series as we go on, or do they just...
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah, it's definitely a continuation. Dead Space 3 mixes it up a little bit by going a bit heavy on customization, but Dead Space 2 is more like just a refinement, I guess, of Dead Space 1.
Yeah.
It's not like some revolutionary, big, massive leap forward, but it is more just like taking it, polishing any rough edges it had from the first one.
Well,
that's definitely more of a blockbuster kind of feel to the story.
It's got a lot more set pieces going.
Yeah.
I don't mind them. I remember playing BioShock when it came out, and it was alright. And then BioShock, I didn't like it. And BioShock 2 came out, BioShock Infinite. Everyone talks about 1 and 3. And then recently I replayed them. And I played the second one, and I really, really liked it because it's the one that, I didn't know anything about it. I haven't seen it. So if I'm expecting another BioShock 2 situation where it's like the fact that it hasn't been slated to death, it coming off the back of a very successful game, normally is a great sign. So I'm looking for. So Dead Space is and not just Dead Space, but those games I mentioned a little while ago there, when EA Play comes to Game Pass, you can download all of them things. You can download Army of 2, and you can download Skate, and you can download Mass Effect Trilogy.
I played so much Army of 2,
I know when it came out.
Like, it's not even that great a game, but I played so much of it. Army of Two, though. Army of Two 2, not actually called that. Army of Two, the 40th Day. It was called. It was set in Shanghai, I think. That was actually fucking really good, to be fair.
Army of Two subsequent movie film.
Did they make? Did they make? Was it the Conflict Desert Storm people that made that game or something?
I don't actually know. I know the Dead Space team made Army of Two 3, which is the Devils, which is
Army of Two 3, the first Army of Two.
Yeah.
No, that one was the Devil's Cartel. That one.
Yeah.
And that one was also good, but it came out at a time when I think everyone had literally just forgotten about Army of Two. Not that people remembered it to begin with, but it was.
It didn't have a huge like profile, did it?
No, not really.
I remember it, and my brother played it, and I played a tiny bit of it. But...
Yeah, it sort of struggled, the Army of Two series, to sort of like find an identity for itself. Like like the first one was pretty much just like this pure co-op driven third person shooter. The second one tried to lean more into like the narrative element of it, and the big thing was that it had like this morality system where you would make choices, but then you wouldn't necessarily see the effect of whatever choice you made until like hours later into the game. And then the third one just went like full on, like mad, over the top, bullet time effects going off everywhere, like destruction effects all the time.
When you look at, like, you know, I'm thinking about why did it kind of struggle, and you see the games that it was coming out alongside, man. You're talking fucking Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth, Crackdown, Bioshock, COD 4, Halo 3, Portal, Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, Uncharted. Like, these are all new IPs that same year. Orange Box, Team Fortress 2.
Was Kane and Lynch out before Army of Two? Or
oh god, Army of Two is hands down better than Kane and Lynch. I can say that confidently.
Wait, Kane and Lynch. I want to say it was earlier, right? Same year.
Because that's weird, isn't it? How you have two series that the whole idea is that there's two, you know, central characters, that there's co-op, and that there's like two. Yeah, you know, there's a twin protagonist type thing going on.
Yeah,
split screen on steroids, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so there you go. EA, in memoriam. No, there's the EA play things worth a look at. Yeah, you can get I think you can get a bunch of other stuff on there. Like you know, if you like the modern EA shit, you can still download like Battlefield 5's on there, and whatever. But yeah, if you've not played Dead Space, give it a go. Even if you think it's going to be clangy corridors with flickering lights like I did, it's not that.
I think the point is, if you're on Xbox Game Pass, you can for no extra cost.
And it's about fucking 8 gig or something. You can download it, make a cup of tea, have a go, and it's 8 hours long as well. So if you're a busy guy, brilliant.
Finish it over a weekend or a bank holiday weekend soon. I think it is worth saying though. Sadly, if you're on PS4 EA Play, you don't get all these like Dead Space or Skate and everything because they don't have any backwards compatibility. But you do get them if you're on PC or Xbox EA Play.
Yeah.
The EA Play on PlayStation is so limited that I don't know how they can... There's like 20, 25 games or something.
It's basically just the current stuff, isn't it, on PS4?
Right. Yeah, whereas this, because of the backwards compatibility, you can get loads of cool shit. So yeah, nice one. Well, Dead Space. I didn't expect this time last week. I wasn't expecting to even be thinking about it.
Funny old world, isn't it?
Hey, never mind thinking it's one of the best games I've ever played. So,
Liam, you've tried something on Google Stadia.
I did. Fresh perspective on Stadia.
Family.
Yeah, exactly, brother.
Oh no, I'll be like that family member who got kicked out for disgracing the family. Sadly.
What did you play?
So for the past week, and I think up until October, up until October 29th, you can play a demo for Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is that Ubisoft game, which is like their take on Zelda, or Breath of the Wild specifically type of Zelda, where it's this big open world. You've got a glider you can glide around. There's crafting mechanics where you can make your own recipes. There's combat. Your weapons don't break, though, in Fenyx Rising. So if you didn't like that about Breath of the Wild, no need to worry. But yeah, it's a completely new IP from Ubisoft. And it was, if you remember, it was originally revealed as Gods and Monsters. And then it sort of went quiet for, like, years. And then re-emerged, like, not that long ago, actually, when people saw it had, like, a trademark change or something on the patent or whatever. But yeah, they've been showing it off sort of like slowly and steadily. And yeah, if you want to try it, there's a half-hour long demo, only through Google Stadia though. That's the catch. You have to play it through Google Stadia. There's no no downloading like a demo on PS4 or Xbox or PC.
Instant access sounds great to me.
You have to play it through Google Stadia. But yeah, so where do you want me to start with my experience with Stadia or the game itself first?
Well, I reckon I'd like to know about the game, and I'd like to hear the cruel twist at the end about the actual playing experience, please.
All right. So the game itself is, I went into it not expecting much. I was expecting sort of cynically, I guess. Oh, another open world Ubisoft game that's taking loads of mechanics from other games and mashing it with their own games. I actually ended up having quite a lot of fun with my short time with this game. The combat was quite nice. It plays similarly to probably Assassin's Creed Origins Odyssey combat, except because Fenyx Rising, it's a lot more of a cartoony game. It's based on Greek mythology, so kind of immediately very similar to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, except that it's very tongue-in-cheek and doesn't take itself seriously. Like, the setup of the game is it's Zeus and Prometheus having a bet, and they're recounting a story to each other, trying to one-up each other. But then it's like Zeus is like sort of like a petulant child, whereas Prometheus is trying to be like the older, wiser brother. And they're just like, it has like this fourth wall breaking narration aspect to it, where it's like I know what you mean, but it's like one of the first encounters you have in it is like Zeus says, and then Phoenix encountered a gargoyle or whatever. Not a gargoyle, that's not Greek, but you know what I mean. It's like a lion, and then goes. Yeah. But then like Prometheus calls him out on his shit or something in the narration, and then he goes, "Fine, it was a flock of roosters," just like for him to be a dick, and then you end up just fighting a flock of roosters in the actual game. Yeah. But yeah, so like the combat it's not as like weighty as Assassin's Creed Odyssey and stuff like that, but I think that works in this game's favour because of the sort of more cartoony aspect of it. It's like you can dash around a lot, you can parry, like the timings on like the dodge and the parry are quite generous, because I think maybe it might be skewing towards a younger player. But even on they're quite generous, the timings for parrying and all that. It's not like Dark Souls level in-depth combat, but it's I imagine. But it's like the combat is good. You've got like you hold LB and you can activate your 4 abilities on the face buttons, which is like Ares Wrath, which is like this big thing that summons spears from the ground and launches them into the air. Bit of Devil May Cry sort of combat. We can air juggle them for a bit, and you've got like a combo counter off to the side of the screen that I think that the higher you get it, the quicker your stamina recharges, and when that lets you use your abilities more often. And then the rest of the game, it seems to be heavily focused around like exploration. Very Breath of the Wild type exploration as well, where you're like meant to jump off the highest peak of a mountain you can find and like glide around the world. You can climb any surface, but you've got your little stamina bar in the corner, where you can climb anywhere as long as you've got stamina. If it depletes, you'll like fall off and take damage and all that. But yeah, it's like the game, the humour will probably be a bit hit or miss for a lot of people, depending. It's not like Borderlands type humour, but it can be a bit. I don't know how to describe it. Like a bit like LOL so random,
right?
at times. But I thought it had quite a lot of charm to it. The game looked nice, but that I'll explain more later with Stadia. But it's like, it was only like a half-hour demo, But I had very positive impressions for this, and I think I think I actually want to pick up the full game when it's out, which is like December 3rd or December 5th, something like that. It comes out.
It was supposed to be out sooner, and it was delayed, I think, to polish it, which means that we know it's been close to completion. Mm-hmm. I remember the lead dev saying he wanted every fight to end with the player feeling like they've hit a home run. Did you feel like you've hit a home run every time you had a fight?
Some of the fights were quite satisfying, to be fair to them. Like, there's one boss fight in the game, well, in this demo, sorry, not in the game, but at the end, it's like you fight this big Cyclops, and to be fair, like, when you pull off a dodge, you get, like, the Bayonetta Near Automata type slowdown thing, where you can, like, get a load of attacks in like, a short time, if you do, like, a perfect dodge. And then, like, there's, like, Cyclops is walking around, like, picking up rocks, throwing them at me, picking up columns, trying to bash me, trying to, like, grab me in the air and stuff. It's very, like, frenetic, the combat. Lots of, like, dashing and air dashing, double jumping over enemies' heads to, like, get behind them. You've got light and heavy attacks, so you can... And they've got, like, a little bar under their health where, like, you can break their stamina and so get, like, stun them for a load for extra damage. I forgot to mention as well, like, the game does have some, like, puzzle elements to it as well. Like, one of the first quests it puts you on is you have to solve a constellation challenge, I think it was called. But it was literally just putting balls in, like, a hole on the floor to match the pattern that was on the wall right in front of you. But then 2 of the balls were missing. One of them was guarded by, like, this big tanky sentry enemy who was swinging a giant hammer at you, and then the other one was like a block puzzle where you had to pick up the blocks, and what was it, like, one of them you had to, like, weigh down on a, like, stone platform switch thing. The other one you had to throw it through an area to, like, get it to land in a specific point. So it, again, like, taking cues from Breath of the Wild quite a bit, I guess, but, like, from what I played, it was very polished, even for a demo. And yeah, like, I really am excited for an Ubisoft game, which I never thought I'd say in quite a long time. Like, I'm actually looking forward to picking this one up, and sadly...
Playing it latency-free.
Sadly, yes, I won't be picking this game up on Stadia. I'll probably get it for PS5 or whatever.
Why is that, Liam? How did you get that decision?
Yeah. So Stadia... my first experience with it was just like, log in with my Google account, set up my profile, and to Stadia's credit, I will actually give it this. It was like, it took a whole, maybe not even 5 minutes from account creation to actually physically playing the game, like, controller in hand, like, watching the intro cutscene. I was ready to go. So to their credit, that works for them. The whole, like, play it instantly, no barriers thing, that worked for me at least. And however, actually no, I will give it another credit. Latency wasn't actually an issue for me. Like, when I was I did a little quick test at the beginning, pressing the button didn't feel like there was, like, maybe a tiny bit of lag, but it wasn't anything that could, like, seriously impact your ability to play the game. Especially not a game like this, which again was, like, very forgiving with its combat timings and everything.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like latency was ever going to be an issue, and I never had any, like, frame drops, or it never felt like I was out of control or the controls were mushy or laggy. However, the actual quality of the video feed was not good, to put it lightly. It was like, the best way I described it to you guys before was, it was like if you go on YouTube, put a video in 720p or 1080p, and then, like, full screen it on, like, a computer monitor, like 24-inch monitor or above, and you can pick out all, like, the compression artifacts and, like, really, really low bit rate of the stream, because I wasn't using Stadia Pro, so I didn't get the 4K 60 HDR stream, because I couldn't be bothered signing up for a free trial that I would eventually have to remember to cancel, or it would start charging me. So I was just going to play the demo on bog standard Stadia, which is capped at 1080, and yet like it looked like 480p at best, to be honest. Like it was horrendous, like the actual video quality of it, which it shouldn't be, because I've got fiber internet straight to the house and I get about 350 meg download speed. So I don't know, it was like my internet connection was definitely not the issue. And Stadia, it told me it was streaming in 1080p when I looked on the like settings configuration thing. But yeah, like visually it was just not good, and I don't see how I could have played a full game through Stadia like that, for especially if I paid money on top of that for a game, because you still got to buy the games on Stadia. It might be better if you have Stadia Pro. I don't know if they use better compression methods, or they use like high efficiency video encoding for their streams or whatnot for 4K. But yeah, like the bog standard Stadia experience was not great for me. I probably will not be a future customer of Stadia, but I do think it has potential for applications like this demo. Like, say if E3 ever comes back or whatever, if like you watch the trailer for a game at say Microsoft Showcase or Sony's Showcase or whatever, or like whoever, Devolver, I don't know, and they say and play the demo right now through Stadia, and they've just like partnered with them to do like these limited time event demos. I think it would work quite well for that. But yeah, I couldn't see myself playing through like a full 40-hour action RPG through this service, sadly.
It's a shame, because the game looks like it would look quite nice, because it's nice and bright and cartoony, and the setting's cool. So it's a shame. I forgot to mention I had that problem with Hulks Must Die. Like, I felt like before a frame drop happened, it would be like the resolution bump down. Like when you're watching Netflix, your resolution will bump before it starts buffering. Yeah, it was like that. I felt a lot of the time it was like, it was when it was just on the cusp of about to like start properly lagging. You'd notice it, like, and it's so, it coming. It's so A and B. Like you can all of a sudden it's like someone's taking your glasses off. So but yeah, it's so if people are listening to this on the day of the podcast, they still got until Thursday to have a go.
If you want to go, like no cost to you. You literally just click. So you click sign up. If you've already logged into like your Gmail account or whatever, it'll say, do you want to use this one? You just go, pick your username, done. And that's all you need to do really to get into it.
We've actually got an email on the issue of, or the issue. It's not an issue. It's a topic, isn't it? Really, I've said an issue before. Issue makes it sound like it's a big problem that we're facing, but it's on the subject of game streaming. We've had an email in our Dear Special Moves inbox. So the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com if you want to send us an email about anything, and we'll have a read and have a talk about it. We had a pretty full inbox again this week, so thanks everyone who sent them in. They did all get read. This one is from Jeremy Pearson, who says this. Hi, special movers, which I don't know if you think this is a joke.
Jeremy,
what I mean? Or something, but just
Jeremy.
Enough said about that.
Maybe you're right. It wasn't a fucking issue.
Big fan of the show. Although I only stumbled across the show on episode 90 something, I was psyched to see you guys back in the gaming sphere. We never left, Jeremy. We never left. I've previously had Xbox Game Pass for PC for a while, as it's the cheaper option than the regular one, and it includes a bunch of fantastic games, including Gears Tactics and Crusader Kings 3 at launch. However, I've recently made the jump to full Game Pass, or Game Pass Ultimate as it's called, for its cloud streaming service. I can play Halo 5 on my phone. It looks a bit silly, clipped onto a controller, but whatever. I'm sitting in the living room when visiting family, and I can be sociable with my parents and grandma while they all watch Columbo. The input lag is very slight, especially when compared to PlayStation Now streaming on PC. But I think it's the future going forward. Last year, I invested in a new PC setup, but as I get older, I have less time for gaming, and I don't think I'll be able to justify the large periodic purchases keeping up to date on PC. However, with Game Pass streaming coming to PC at some point, I'll eventually be able to play anywhere, on anything, jump in right where I left off for a relatively small monthly fee, considering I normally consume at least one AAA game a month anyway. Keep up the good work, Jeremy Pearson.
Well,
so that's interesting.
So what? Because like I went in 2015, I was playing Metal 5 on my phone.
Yeah.
On my PlayStation controller, but I was in the same house. It was just where my daughter was watching Peppa Pig and whatever. But
were you streaming from your console to the?
Yeah.
You do remote play. That's what.
Remote play. So it was the same Wi-Fi, and my PlayStation had to be on. So do you have to be in the same place to play? Like what Jeremy's saying, could I go to a hotel room and play Cuphead or whatever?
So xCloud it's like Stadia. You can be anywhere.
Stadia's fucked then, isn't it? At this point,
like as long as you've got
abandoned ship.
As long as you've got
sell.
As long as you've got a Game Pass Ultimate subscription and a compatible device, you can use it anywhere. Because I've got Game Pass Ultimate and I've got a Samsung phone that is compatible with xCloud, and I've been meaning to try it. I just haven't got around to it yet. But I've heard nothing but good things about xCloud, and I think because it comes bundled with Game Pass Ultimate, that just works in its favor straight away. Because you're not having to buy games separately, which is what everyone thought Stadia was going to be when it was originally announced. Like they thought it was just going to be a sub fee, and you got access to like a rotating library of games like Game Pass, except it was all cloud. But now that Game Pass has come along with xCloud and offered, you can stream it to your phone, you can download it to your Xbox or download it to your PC, all for one fee that is not much more than Stadia Pro is, and you don't have the added cost of buying games at full price. I think Game Pass Ultimate is just, if you're exclusively into streaming, it's probably just the better option all round.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how fucked Stadia is with this. The thing is, Microsoft aren't even making a big deal out of it. You see it. I hear about this. Like I follow the 3 people that run Xbox in the UK and Europe. And so like that's their personal accounts where they'd probably be really wanky on Twitter and be like, "Oh, this feature." They don't mention it. They're always talking about Game Pass. In the time it took Liam to explain that, I've just downloaded the Game Pass app to my phone, and signed in, and I can literally play a game now. In the time it took Liam to explain it, that's fucking sick. Yeah, not sponsored, by the way.
I mean,
if you're listening to Xbox, we'll have 3 of them as well.
Yeah. I mean, with Xbox One, do you remember how the power of the cloud was such a big part of what they were saying? And and people didn't like it. They were saying like we'd supplement the Xbox One doesn't need to be powerful because the cloud will compensate for all the power. And then Crackdown was meant to be a big cloud-driven game where the cloud would calculate all the destruction and things. But then that was such they had such a negative reception to that that perhaps they've just thought maybe the appetite just isn't there still. And the Stadia is almost like the fucking, the vanguard, like the fucking first wave is just getting annihilated. So that then when Xbox is like, well, we've got this, it's easier, there's more games on it, and it's, and they can just like make it seem like a more appealing product.
The one thing I always thought, is that like, I want to be able to just click my controller to my phone. But once if I don't want to do that, can I just play some games with touch? Like some games, let's be honest, I don't need the controller for Slay the Spire, do I? Look, I'm playing fucking Slay the Spire, boys, right now. I'm going to turn it off now. I'm going to turn it off now. But there's a whole bunch of games that you can play just with touch. Like I got Slay the Spire, Hellblade. You can play with just touch, and it comes up with the virtual thing.
That seems like it'd be a bit rough with touch controls.
You can't even fucking do that on Stadia, because what I wanted to do was play Orcs Must Die in Bed, and I thought, Stadia, I naturally play anywhere. Well, I've got an Xbox on my TV, but apparently anywhere doesn't include Xbox. Fine. Can I just sideload it on there? No. What about On my phone, then? Nah. All right, then. So I can't play anywhere, but I can literally play anywhere on the xCloud. Come on, man.
Okay, let's do another email then. This one is from Michael in Michigan, who says, "Dear Special Moves, last week you all talked about the PS5 UI reveal and touched on the ability to share your screen with friends in a party. Now, while I agree that I'm not too sure how useful this will be or how often I or my friends would actually use it, it could be a cool way for friends to help other friends through their games. It almost reminds me of when my friends and I were in school and you were stuck on a Zelda dungeon or something. You could bring the game in during lunch and your friends could help you solve the puzzle and move forward. As an avid From Software game player, I am always trying to get my friends to hop in on whatever game they have coming out. However, my friends are pretty hesitant to play since they are known for their difficulty. I could see this party feature being a way that our friend group can stream where we are in the game to one another and help each other out through the difficult portions of the game. Who knows how practical it actually will be, but it'll be cool to watch how people end up using it. Hope you all have a great week, Michael." So what do you think of that? I think we did kind of touch on this a little bit, didn't we? Like the idea of like, showing people how to do stuff and things like that.
Yeah, I remember that Google Stadia, when it first came out, was one of the big features that they were showing off, which I don't think ever came to light, where you could share your save state. The same, like it was like a YouTube link. And I can literally put it in this Discord chat right now. YouTube could literally click on it, instantly be in my save state, beat a boss for me, then give it me back.
Yeah.
And the first thing anyone said was like, "Oh my god, my friends can finally carry me and beat Ludwig from Bloodborne or whatever." And maybe it's good for that. Good for backseating people.
I remember doing that. I remember getting my mate Chris to beat Shao Kahn for me and stuff like that in Mortal Kombat because I couldn't do it. It's like it is a relatable thing.
Like the way I thought of it was like it'd be like impromptu party games that aren't necessarily party games. Like if a group of friends like wanted to play through Until Dawn, but only one of them had a PS4, and I don't think Until Dawn has any multiplayer anyway. So like one person could just boot it up, everyone could jump in a party, everyone could be watching the screen, and it could be like, like everyone was around your house, but everyone's socially distanced in their own house, and they can
led Telltale Games sort of thing.
Yeah, like they can be like, right, everyone, what do I do? And they're like, throw the shovel at him, or no, like back away from him, like that sort of thing. But like, that's how I thought it'd be used. Yeah, or just like, or your mate's like, oh, you got that new Uncharted game. What's it like? And you go, oh, do you want to watch a bit of it? And like, yeah, show me what it's like. So you just like,
oh, Liam, you're taking me there.
I know. Like, I'm a performer this week. I don't know why.
back in the day, I used to watch my mate play loads of games. You used to go around your mate's house. I used to watch him play Indiana Jones, on the first Xbox, and I used to love watching it. So yeah, I would do that. I think I'd watch someone play. I will. That's what most people do. It's how Let's Players and streamers make their fucking living, isn't it? But I'd watch my mate. I'd have a beer and watch my mate die on Dark Souls a lot, basically. I get great joy out of that.
It's a tool, isn't it? It's basically just another tool. It's another thing that you could use, and other people will find cool ways of using it, won't they? So.
Yeah,
it's just another option, I guess. Thanks everyone who sent in the emails. The address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Keep them coming and we'll read them out. All right, let's do the new games for this week. It's a busy week. Some of these aren't as big as the others, but we'll go through them anyway. So coming out on the Tuesday, that's October the 27th, is Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues on Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox One. I wonder which genre this will be. It's beat 'em up.
Side scroller?
So it's a beat 'em up, yeah. So Ghost Runner is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, this is getting loads of like
hype
this behind it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I played this at Gamescom, last year.
Yeah, it's had quite a few demo. It's like so
Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, very like the Mirror's Edgy sort of Hotline Miami hybrid sort of thing where you play as it's like set in this cyberpunky future, neon lights everywhere, it's constantly raining. You've got a mysterious voice in your head telling you've got a mission you need to finish. But it's
I remember.
Yeah, it's like there's lots of wall running and a lot of like speed running potential, I guess. But it's like enemies die in one hit, you die in one hit. You've got to like chain together like wall runs and jumps and slides with sword slashes to make like the ultimate combo string to get the best time. And yeah, it's like sort of like this first person action platformery type thing. Yeah, like very Mirror's Edgy, I guess, with like the instant death reload of Hotline Miami to it. Yeah, but like
sounds like it's going to make a lot of people nauseous.
Oh yeah, probably. Like I've seen so many like people like getting really excited about this game, and it just seems like it's come out of nowhere.
I played it and it was like that. You just reload, drop, die, instantly back in. It was really good from what I remember. It was over a year ago, but yeah, it was cool. It did feel like an indie game, whereas a lot of the trailers make it look like it's going to be a super polished thing, but it wasn't quite that. But yeah, it looks cool.
Oddworld New and Tasty is out on Nintendo Switch as well, the same day, the 27th of October, on the Switch. So Oddworld is I've never really got into the Oddworld.
Part of my childhood, this huge part of my childhood.
Yeah,
my dad's mate brought his memory card and asked me, this is like one of the first times I ever remember being good at anything in my life, was that I had to help this guy get past the part he was stuck on, and I must have been about 8. And I'm sure it was, and he bought me a Happy Meal from McDonald's, so thanks, And I remember that was the first time I was ever like, oh, am I good at games? The answer is no, but just old people aren't as good at getting to grips with stuff. I really liked Apes Odyssey and Exodus, and I bought them on the PS3, and then I think it was a free upgrade when New and Tasty came out to the PS4, because I don't ever remember purchasing it. I went into my library one day and it was just there. So I actually played this when it was actually like the third PlayStation 4 game I ever played, and I played it all the way through. I'm a huge fan of it. I love to me, it's iconic, the sound effects and stuff like that. I love the story. I love the weird alien creatures and the lore behind it, and it's got some things to say about the world. Which is very cool. I think it would be perfect on the Switch. And if you haven't played it, it depends on the price, but it could be worth a pick. I don't know if you've got the price there, but I'd get it if it was 20 quid or under, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll find out on Tuesday, innit? On Thursday, the 29th, is Pacer on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a racing game. Do you guys know anything about this?
Not heard of this.
No.
Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster is out on Nintendo Switch, PS4.
Japan only at the minute. It's not coming out in the West until 2021.
Is Shin Megami Tensei like kind of like where Persona comes from?
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei is the parent series to Persona. Like, Persona's a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, and there's many more spin-offs. But yeah, there's not many Shin Megami Tensei mainline games though. There's like 6 or 7, I think, before they actually.
Which in Japan is not much, guys. If anyone wants
to, which is not much. No. And literally, the series started in the mid '80s, so for only like 6 or 7 mainline, for a series that's been going almost 30 years is quite mad. But so this is a remaster of the PS2 game, Nocturne, famously quite difficult. Like, it'll beat your ass and laugh at you in the first, 30 minutes of the game. It'll tell you how weak you are, how pathetic you are.
You're a worm?
You're a worm, which is very anime for an anime game. But yeah, this is its first appearance on something that's not a PS2. So it's a good way to get back into... Because I never played this one. I do have it on PS2, but I just never got around to playing it, so I might as well wait and pick up the HD remaster, which has got added content, difficulty modes in case the game is too difficult, and remastered music. I think they've even added in some voice acting for it. I'm not sure. Right. But yeah, it's it's part of this sort of I guess not reviving, because the series never died. But
rejuvenated.
Yeah, like bringing it back into public perception, because Shin Megami Tensei 5 is meant to be out in 2021 as well for the Switch. Yeah. So I think it's just like this is like a push to bring the series back into
I guess
not
like
mainstream, but
they like announced 3 houses and then they put out some like remaster of an older one just to like kind of build the profile up whilst they were gearing up towards the launch of the big one.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
So just there's one that you've not missed it really, but I just thought of added content on Wednesday the 28th. So to go back, Sekiro adds like a bunch of shit. It's like they're making it to the Game of the Year edition Sekiro on Wednesday. So they've added some new content. You can add skins, so you can do fashion souls. They've added like a boss challenge mode, like endless. Well, not endless, but like if you can beat all the bosses in a row mode, and some other shit.
Was it a replay? Oh, they've added messages, haven't they? Like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, like bloodstains and messages.
Yeah, it's not a big thing, but if you've not played it yet, and now you go into it, it'll be way better. It'll be well better with messages. I started Sekiro again 2 weeks ago, and I found out that this was a couple of weeks away, so I'm waiting, and then I'm going to go back in. But that's on Wednesday. Why there's no DLC or like anything exciting, to be completely honest with you, I do not know.
Well, I saw the Vati video. Was extremely excited about a new move set for one of the bosses. So that's
oh yeah, yes, Genichiro's got extra moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very sorry that I didn't get that one in. So continuing on the 29th, what did we just do? Shin Megami Tensei, right? Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion is out on Thursday the 29th on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and as former brand ambassador for Google Stadia, Jake Kokoski would have known.
I've just updated my LinkedIn.
Now you'll find me at Xbox.
xCloud, that's it. Exactly. Move over, Larry, whatever your name is.
Rub.
Yeah.
So, are you guys interested in this at all?
I'll get it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
will I pay for it? No, but I'll get it because I'm on a family share with someone who's already got it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, not for you. So I played the first one and really liked Watch Dogs 1. I actually really, really like it. I would give it an 8 out of 10. That's how much I like it. Ooh. But the second one, everything about it, I looked at it, everything about it makes me cross. Yeah. So did you guys play Watch Dogs 2?
I played about 10 minutes of it.
I played like quite a bit of Watch Dogs 1 actually. I never finished it, but I did get quite far into it. Watch Dogs 2 I played maybe 2 or 3 hours of, and it's just like I can't anymore. I just can't. But Watch Dogs Legion, I actually think I'm into it, to be honest.
So if people don't know anything about Watch Dogs is like a game, like sandboxy, open worldy game where you play as a hacker. Yeah. So the first game was a bit self-serious. The hacker had a baseball cap and a trench coat, and someone was threatening to kill his family, very Punisher or whatever. So or whatever these things are. And then you're driving around a city, hacking traffic lights at the press of a button to cause collisions, and hacking fire hydrants, because fire hydrants have got motherboards in them and whatnot. And you could do loads of cool stuff. Like every NPC had like data connected to them, so you could see everyone's job, their bank account. It was all like full of cool little details like that, I thought. And there was loads of crazy, silly mini games. But then the second game was like, a bit. You're a hacker,
edgy.
You're like.
Well, it was very responding to focus test groups, wasn't it? Oh, we like the game, but we think Aiden Pierce is too serious. So then the game that comes out afterwards is just like a fucking carnival of.
It countersteered the complete opposite direction to the first game.
Yeah, it was like filtered through Saints Row, and then you've got this app. Like the word is wacky, and it's just not. It's so weird. How would if I'm trying to think of like, imagine if a film, the first one in the series, it's like if the Lord of the Rings Two Towers was a fourth wall breaking fucking comedy with Mary and Pippin. Like, not to compare Watch Dogs 1 to Fellowship of the Ring or nothing. But then, so this one looks like it's still goofy, and what's worse than being goofy is being goofy and being British. So like we're not from England, but we are aware of British culture, and then when you look at it, it's London, and it's all like, all right, mate, this is Camden Market. Here's the fucking, if all of the taxi routes are the same, and you can have fish and chips as an old lady and rob a bank and shit like that, and it's just a little bit like, it still seems a bit. And they've obviously.
So this is you saying yes, you're interested in it, and you're going to play it.
Yeah, because so here's the interesting thing about Watch Dogs Legion, unless I'm misinterpreting it. You are putting together a team, yeah? Right. Imagine you're Michael Caine. You're putting together a team to rob a bank, stop hackers or whatever. But you can pick anyone you want at all, any NPC in the whole fucking game. You can pick and go, you are my playable character. Apparently, they've all got their own unique moves and personalities and whatever. So Watch Dogs 1 did do it. You did see everybody had unique data attached to them, like I say. Everyone had a unique name and this and that and that. Now, I imagine with this, there's going to be specific archetypes. So there's Barbara and whatever. There's loads of old women. They've all got different names, know, Victoria, Emily, Barb, but they're all the same. Mavises. They're all just the same. But, they've got the handbag swing, and they might have different, text attached to them. So I assume it's going to be a series of archetypes. But I'm really interested in, I guess it's like Pokemon. You've got all these different Ratatas, but you're picking your one, and you're making it unique, and you're building your party. So it's like building a Pokedex of Londoners, and then having a go, isn't it? So that sounds good to me.
You're already role playing. Having a go, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that sounds good to me. Building a Pokedex of old women and then going out and causing havoc. So it does seem good. Like they've pushed the game back and back and back. I think it was due out last year.
But
it seemed, it was right. Mm-hmm. But it seems like it's trying to do a lot. But if it can pull it off, I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So I might as well.
I've only got I've got like a bar, like a sim of open world games, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep mine as empty as possible.
Yeah.
Before Valhalla comes, and I don't want to fill my open world games bar with Watch Dogs because I've already put some money down on Assassin's Creed as like a safe bet first game for my PS5, innit? So I think I'm going to avoid it. I think I'm basically exactly the same as you, both of you. I actually finished Watch Dogs 1. And I haven't got any strong feelings about it. I think just kind of it was all right. But then Watch Dogs 2, I just really couldn't get on with it.
Yeah.
And then I'm totally with you, Jake, on the way that this comes across. Like the fucking. I can't imagine any bigger nightmare than having wacky plus British, to be honest. But
honestly,
totally with you. But.
Just So yeah, I'm interested to see what what it's going to be like, and I'll come back for next week with the verdict of how disappointed I was, or it could be great.
How nice was it that we could just sit there and talk about Dead Space for like half an hour today? back to business next week, though.
It'll either be Watch Dogs or Dead Space 2, and I know which one could be better already.
Fingers crossed. Right. So on the 30th, which is the Friday, you got the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope, which is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Follow up to what was it called?
Man of Medan.
Which was not very good.
No,
as I understand it.
Well, me and Leon both played it.
We did. We even made a video about it.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah,
and I think I was a bit more positive in that video. But as time's gone on, and the more I thought about the game, the more I didn't like it. To be honest.
Yeah. I had I'm sure it was luck or horror spider senses. I did it. I played it once. It took me like 2 hours, 3 hours to complete it. I got the best ending possible, Everybody survived, and it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Because of that, like I got A+ ending straight away, like, and it was just a bit shit. Like I don't.
It was just a bit fucking terrible.
It's like a sci-fi, the channel on TV.
Okay.
It was like a sci-fi
original
horror movie about a boat. Like it was like, I don't know, The Fog or something like that, but done by people who have watched a lot of Scream. I don't know. It's weird because it's like trying to be nostalgic for a type of horror that I don't think has got that nostalgia market. Like people aren't nostalgic for the disposable teen slasher late 90s. Like Friday the 13th shit, fine. But this is just a little bit, and like it starts off with a prequel bit, and you know what the ending is. I guess the ending from there, 20 minutes, because why is it telling you that? You know it's for a reason. So then I'm playing the game, and because I figured that out, I made the right decision straight away, and I have no. So that was. It's like a 2 timeline game, World War I and modern day. I think it's World War One. Sorry, it was some war anyway. And then like this new one is again 2 timelines, modern day, but also 17th century witch trials in a fictional town called Little Hope. Not sure if that's in the UK or in America. I'm assuming America. But it's you know, let's just put this out there straight away. Has some witches cast a curse on the town? I'm just guessing. If I'm right, the game's shit. There we go.
Right, so look forward to that. And the same day, you got Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is out.
Now we're talking. Now we're fucking talking.
Nintendo Switch. I guess the closest you'll get to an RTS from Nintendo, really.
Have you played Pikmin before?
I did, but was it GameCube?
GameCube was the first one, yeah.
Yeah. But this was in my cycling through games very quickly phase. But I played it, so I know what it is, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't finish
it. Had this pesky timeline. Not timeline. It didn't have. It's not a fucking Man of Medan. Yeah. It had this thing where there was a constant ticking away. Yeah. You had to get your ship sorted, and you had like 24 days or whatever the hell it was in the game. And I remember that putting a lot of kids off because there was a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every day, you had to make a decision every day to, time was a big resource in the game. So, and then it was co-op mechanics introduced in Pikmin 2 and 3. Pikmin 3 was Wii U, right? From what I remember, Liam, yeah?
Yeah,
it's one of the Wii U games that slipped through the cracks, like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which just found a new life on Switch. And I hope Pikmin 3 does, because it's fucking really good. Like, I'm really, really, really looking forward to playing this.
If you want to try it out as well, there's a pretty generous demo on the eShop where you're, I want to say, a good 2 to 3 hours of stuff in there, like the first few days of the game. So
I'll do that.
It's well worth a go, and like you'll definitely know by the end of the demo if it's for you or not.
Yeah.
And then if you want to pick it up, your save transfers over, so you can pick up exactly where you left off.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. I really like it. Yeah, I like it when Nintendo do that. But yeah, I've been looking for. I've been asking for since especially this podcast 1. Pikmin, get a new fucking Pikmin on the Switch. This is as close as we're going to get. Really, we're not going to get Pikmin 4, but maybe on the Switch 2 or whatever. But yeah, so I guess I've got to do it, haven't I?
And we'll mention one more title. And Visage is out the same day. On the 30th, it's the Friday, on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Now, this is a survival horror game.
So I've heard of this.
Yeah. How do I know this? I know it,
I feel like there's been a lot. Obviously, it's October, isn't it? But it feels particularly like there's been a few horror games.
The game is a spiritual successor to PT.
Oh,
well,
big claim.
That is lofty, yeah.
That is on their Wikipedia. It was a Kickstarter, and here's a twist for you. It was a successfully lit Steam Greenlight game. I guess lit is the correct term there. So it was a Steam Greenlight that got. I remember this. Yeah. I'm looking at it now. It's like one of those games. It's got like the photorealistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got loads of. It's very positive on Steam. 2,000 reviews, very positive. 9 out of 10. It came out to Steam in 2018. And the graphics are great, but you're actually in a huge house instead of a corridor. So I think this could be a good one to pick up for Halloween.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Good name as well, Sarge.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for listening and for watching to the Special Moves podcast. Remember to keep your emails coming into dsspecialmoves@gmail.com if you want us to talk about anything. If you've got any opinions, have you got any disagreements with what we've been saying, any questions you want to ask, let us know in the inbox and we'll have a read. I notice a lot of people leave like big, long, good comments in the YouTube comment section. If you're typing a YouTube comment and about halfway through you realise the word count is about 500, I reckon you should email that to us and then maybe we'll read out in the inbox.
There are some comments like that, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just think about it is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're a patron, we've just done a bonus podcast which has gone out on the Patreon page last week, so have a look out for that. Everyone who supports us on Patreon does get access to the bonus podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go play Total War, probably.
Bye, guys. See you later. See you soon. Stay warm.